Hi everyone, and welcome to Heal Endometriosis Naturally with WendyKLaidlaw. Wendy has spent the last 2 years helping women with various stages of endometriosis to heal naturally after putting her condition into remission. After her own healing success from stage 4 endometriosis and adenomyosis, she's inspired to heal others, and her goal is to help some of the 175 million women know that there is another way other than painkillers, drugs, or surgery. This is the place to be for real talk with real people for real results, so you can learn how to heal your endometriosis naturally. Please note that the opinions expressed in this program may represent options, but are not a substitute for proper medical care. Before starting any new healthcare program, we recommend you consult with a health professional.
Hey everyone, it's WendyKLaidlaw here, and as always, I hope that this podcast finds you well. These are the most exciting podcasts to share with you, are the ones where our EndoBoss alumni come and share their story. As I say with each and every one of them, please, I hope you appreciate the courage and confidence it takes to come on and share this, as I think most of us are quite shy really at heart and just want to get on with our lives, but equally are compelled to want to give other women hope of what is possible for their bodies. So today we have Nadja from Germany. Previously, before she started the program, she was bleeding 3 to 5 days during her cycle, hair thinning, lower back pain, had chronic fatigue, lethargy, ovarian cyst, chocolate cyst, and a whole other range of symptoms. Already had 2 surgeries, and her cysts just kept coming back. She had tried, again, going down the pathway of trying to eat very healthily and avoid certain foods, and I'd read my book and had started to kind of make some progress, but felt like she just needed that additional expert support and guidance as to kind of what was going on in her body, as she kept having surgery for her cysts, but her cysts keep coming back, which of course, as you know, if you've been listening to my podcast for a while, is very, very common. When I had my 6th surgery, I ended up having 8 chocolate cysts that came back. So it's awesome that she reached out when she did. I talk about the real healing taking at least 6 to 12 months minimum. I think Nadja was about sort of 10 months by the time that she started to really feel the results she wanted to feel. Prior to that, she was noticing a big increase in energy and outlook and general health. And as you'll hear from her story, she has a very special surprise as to what happened to one pesky little cyst that kept hanging around at the end of or you'll hear throughout the podcast. But again, it's just another testament as to if you provide your body with the right ingredients, the right environment, and the right expertise, it's amazing how your body will do what it needs to do, which is to heal itself, rid itself of endometrial tissue, reduce any cysts or fibroids, and go on to give you the energy and vitality that you seek. So I hope you enjoy this. Again, please do keep in mind when you're listening to this, all these women would rather not be sharing themselves in this way, but they do so out of their own love and hope for your own healing. So please do take all this in and enjoy it, and make sure that this inspires you to take the next step forward on your EndoBoss journey. And I hope to meet you on it. Take care. Hey everyone, it's WendyKLaidlaw here from Heal Endometriosis Naturally, and as always, I hope that this finds you well. Now, these interviews that I do give me goosebumps down my arms and are the most exciting ones for me, because there are wonderful EndoBoss students who have come through the EndoBoss Pathway, the Academy, and have very generously agreed to share their story. So today we have the wonderful Nadja from Germany. Welcome, Nadja.
Hi, I'm Nadja from Germany, and I was attendees for your academy, and I'm very glad to share my experience here.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on. You're such a star. And I just wonder, to give some people some background, I actually pulled out your original opening questionnaire, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But you went through the 21-day challenge and then the Embracing Emotions program as well. But perhaps you could just share, before you even found me, kind of what's been happening in your body with regards to cysts and endometriosis, and kind of what led you to seek me out.
Yes, actually, my history was very long before I entered all these programs. It was more than 15 years. So on the time when I was 25, I discovered that I have I was diagnosed with endometriosis. I had no clue what that means. And I thought, okay, I have one cyst. I will remove that cyst and everything is over.
Yeah.
I had no clue what to do. And I just followed this medical path because somebody tell you what to do. Cyst was 7 centimeters in that time. So you had no choices with such a big cyst what to do.
Yeah.
I went to laparoscopy first time, then cyst was back, then second time, 4 years after this first time. Then I realized that, oh, come on, should I do this every 5 years? Because up to 55, or I don't know how old I should be to stop my cycles. Should I do this every 5 years? I cannot survive this. And I start thinking about other possibilities. So when I entered this program, I was investigating also other possibilities. I was taking this synthetic hormonal progesterone therapy, which stopped my cycles for almost 4 years, which then caused that partially stopped progress of endometriosis, but caused many other problems on another side. I had another problems with the breast, and another doctor didn't recommend to going forward with this therapy, and I had no options. So I had hormonal therapy, which is doing me bad on another things, or I had this laparoscopy over and over again every 5 years. So I didn't have any solution. So I started looking for some books, how to eat, what to do. And I was already read 2 or 3 different books before I found your book. And to be honest, when I found your book, I just said, oh, one more book and I will read all the same, what to eat, what not to eat. And this is very hard to help because I'm doing this 100% and still problem is maybe slowing down a bit, but it's still there and progressing. And then it was tiny book. It was not the big one like others, and that's the main reason I wanted to read it. Let me see it. It's a quick one. And what actually triggered my attention was this emotional part, this chapter in the book, because that was different from any other book I saw. All other books had these parts about what to eat, what to skip, and things like that. But this has this part with a description of personality, which I recognize myself one-on-one, and I could not believe, is it possible that this can make something as well, not just the food?
Yeah.
And then I start thinking, okay, if it's related to the hormones, then it's relating to the feelings, how you feel. If you feel good, you are in the balance. If you feel very bad and stressed, your hormones are not in balance. So this was a trigger for me to go in the next step for Academy.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And I think you started off in the 21-day challenge. How did you find that? That was a real, talking of emotions, which is something we all love, not. It was a nice way to kind of put your pinky toe in the water of kind of really self-care and kind of journaling and meditation. How did you find that as a first step into connecting to your emotions?
Actually, I saw that it is 21 day and 20 in some intro it was thought that 21 day needs to build the habits to have a habits, and then I said, okay, let me test it before I go to some program. Let me test it what I'm doing. I was mostly interested in what I'm doing wrong because I was investigating so much before, and if I'm already close to this, what I should correct, and can I find out there, and is it this maybe missing part which I'm missing with all this effort I'm already doing. So it was, let's say, first step just to do something for 21 days. You can, if I can skip it for not skip it, if I can persist doing this for 21 days, then let's see if this is bringing something back to me, and is this way to go. Actually, in that moment of the time, I had nothing to lose, because in that moment of the time, I was struggling again with my cyst, which was 7 centimeters again. And my new gynecologist in Germany was suggesting hysterectomy, which was pretty much radical for me. So it's not laparoscopy anymore. They asked me, if you plan any kids further, if I say no, then they are going strictly to this. And they explained to me, if I do hysterectomy, that my hormones can still be there. And I read that it is not pretty much true, because it will also lost its function in 1 year or so. And then it was very big operation for me to go this, and I was struggling. If I go laparoscopy, I will do it 3 more times or 4 more times, and I had no energy for this. If I go hysterectomy, this is a little bit dramatic for me. Maybe I will go in 15 years before, in some stadium of the life I don't want to be there. And then I say, okay, give one more try, and nothing to lose, let's say. So I was in that stadium in that moment of the time.
I mean, even hearing you talk about that, it must have been really quite scary hearing what these options were. They're pretty barbaric as options, aren't they? You know?
Yes. And if this was my first time to meet the doctors, I will probably say, oh, this is the only options, and I will go this way, because we get some kind of the trust into doctors and so on for everything. If you are sick, you go there and you get your therapy. But before, I was struggling with all these operations before, I was a little bit suspicious, and I want to see, is this way to go, because there are different opinions and things like that. But I'm a learner like this. First 3 times I never challenged this. Let's say, when I see that doesn't help, and that I'm going back again and again, that they don't have solution really. That this is just treating the symptoms, not the cause of the problem. Then I realized that this is not way to go. But if I was really lucky that my first doctor didn't suggest this, because on first kickoff, you usually believe the doctors and you do what they say. My experience learned me to be a little bit skeptic about this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the thing is, you know, only took you 3 times. It took me 6 times, you know, before I'm like, this is the definition of insanity, that I keep doing the same thing over and over and I was getting worse. So well done you for having, you know, that insight and that courage to take that early step. And then I think you went into Embracing Emotions program as well. Did you after that? How were you finding the connection to the emotions? How challenging was that? Because it is a challenge on the 21-day challenge. And then we go deeper in the Embracing Emotions. How challenging was that?
Actually, it's still challenging for me, and I expect to continue this progress. And I think it's a lifetime job to do it. You should deal with this all the time, because when you are on certain level, you always can go higher level, and you can do the next challenge. What was interesting for me, that I stopped and I realized that I didn't even question myself for, I don't remember, maybe since I was 10 or 12, how do I feel? I never do this. I'm always too busy. I'm delivering something. I'm doing my job. I'm with the kid. I'm doing different things, and there is no time to think. Or maybe there is a time, but there is no even idea that I should do it. And it is very simple idea, because as you said, on one of these challenges, half of the job is to be aware. Once you are aware that you start noticing something, then you will notice this, then you will go into this direction. But if you don't even pay attention and you don't notice anything, then you cannot be aware and you cannot deal with this. And I was completely out of this. I never did any reflection to ask myself, how do I feel by different situation, by sitting with these people, by doing this job, by doing eating this food. Does this do I feel good or bad after this? Who is filling me with energy? Who is draining energy from me, and things like that? I never actually did this. So all things I heard there were step by step leading for this, to be aware and to start noticing. And that was very, very big release for me to start doing this. And some things which are very simple things, which I thought that are for teenagers, and I didn't even do it when I was a teenager. Once I started doing, I saw how much helpful that should be. And this is some way to articulate it, way to speak with yourself, or things like that. So
it's a very valid point you bring up, isn't it? It's like, you know, they're so simple, they almost seem sort of, you know, silly, such simple tools, but what they are is such safe, validating tools to really allow us to hear. Because in our life, our culture, all around the world, is that better, faster, more now kind of mentality. So you're just constantly busy and distracted and addicted to busyness, almost to shut out. No. So what did connecting to your emotions teach you about yourself, do you think?
This is the hard one. Actually, it teach me that I should stop and look inside myself. This is first, and that I should be around the people which has positive impact on me. If I see that somebody is not impacting me on the positive way, actually that he's draining energy of me, I don't want to put effort anymore on this. Because you have some cousins, it's you should do this, you should be like this and things like that, and you are doing all the time because just other people will say that you should do this, and I don't need to do anything anymore. So it was some kind of release. I will do just what I'm comfortable with, and everything else, if it's mandatory to be done, I will do it on some minimum level, and I will put boundaries around so that won't touch me. So it's some kind of way. So also regarding every other aspect. So I know to make a pause right now. Okay, I'm always there, for example, for my kids. But if I'm in good mood, I will be better there for my kids as well. Because if I'm nervous and having the all time under the stress with him, and I need to do lots of things, then it's not good for him, it's not good for me. So it's better to step back, having half an hour on my own, and then we will play or do some things on more quality way. So things like that, just start noticing different things. Yeah. It is also not just on emotional things, it's also on the food and other things. If you drink something, if you eat something, you just reflect what impact that has on your body, because it's strange, as you said, how simple these things, and you never do it. So you go to the lunch, you do something, and you don't feel well after that. But what you do with this, you didn't even notice that you didn't feel well because it's too fat or too unhealthy what you eat. You just, I ate it too much, and you keep doing this. It's not way to do it. So this reflection, let's say, is the biggest thing I take it over. And also right now I can recognize this need when I need to reflect something additionally and to do this journaling and to try to clarify some things to myself. And also I'm doing some further investigation, which is an ongoing process. It's, let's say, there are certain protection technique that I'm aware that I'm using in my life, and I'm trying to discover why I'm using this, because I'm not, let's say, I'm not having lack of confidence or things like that. But despite of this, I'm not opening to other people and things like that. So this is a little bit tricky for me to discover why I'm so closed. You can come close to me, but up to the certain level, and not closer than this. I'm controlling this very much, and I don't know why, because it's not some source on uncertainty and things. But okay, this is ongoing process. We don't need to solve everything immediately.
Exactly, but again, you've just said it earlier. The fact you've got that awareness of it's fantastic, and I love that you're asking the question, because it's the questions we ask ourselves that are the empowerment. It leads to the answers, and the fact that you're journaling about it is amazing. And there's probably a very good reason you have protective mechanisms, because when you were little, they say, give me a child up to the age of 6 or 7 and I'll show you the man or the woman, because we go around in a semi-hypnotic state, just taking in our environment, mirroring our parents. And if we've been hurt, wounded, shouted at, or there's been an event, we learn pretty quickly as a child, well, I'm going to make sure I'm not going to let anyone in again. So there's probably some really good protective survival mechanism in there. But I love that you're just being curious about it. And I feel that your language has changed, rather than beating yourself up and being harsh on yourself, which adds further insult and injury. You're just like, so why is that? Why do I keep that? Which feels very kind of supportive as you continue on your journey, which is really commendable to you.
Thank you.
So
I know that you like this. Thank you.
I know. That's something we had to work on, wasn't it? Because it's like, and I would say something and you would just go, why is she being nice to me? Why is she just giving me a compliment? Why is she doing that? And
Can you please attack me? It's easier to me to defend.
Yeah, you're going to get my guard down and then attack me. That's what I used to be like, why are you being nice to me when people are being nice to me? You're trying to get something from me, aren't you? And that's just very reflective of the people that we either grew up with or were around. And as I say, for good measure, you have to build these protective mechanisms. But when they become too solid and too detached from yourself, that's when, you know, the body starts to kind of scream at you to say, hey, we're not liking this environment. We're not liking this. We're not liking this. And then that's when, you know, we get more and more pain in the body. So how did you find your body, even just with the 21-day challenge and embracing emotions? You know, you said at the time your cyst was about 6 or 7 centimeters, but how are you finding your body as you were starting to connect with your emotions? Did you notice any kind of like movement in your body?
It was really strange because in the beginning, I needed to be persistent very long time because cysts were there. This cyst didn't being any smaller, despite I'm doing all of these. But taking these challenges and doing things, I noticed that my body and me overall are feeling much, much better. Yeah. And then in some moment of the time, I think it was 1-2 months after, I just said, I want to do this program regardless of endometriosis, because I feel that it is doing very well for me. I feel better. I feel more energized. I feel more positive. I was, let's say, before I started this program, I was on the edge of depression, which is not what is my personality. I'm not at least this, but I recognize this part because it was some circumstances I could not impact, and it was this permanent pressure from the endometriosis, from the many tasks on the jobs, from the having small kids and things like that. My mom also died and so on. So there are many things on top of this. And I was on the, really, I recognize that I'm on the edge of depression, that I'm losing the will to do anything and things like that, that I'm just living day by day, completing the tasks. And when I do these small steps, I just noticed it was one practice like this. Just remember what was your favorite music when you was very young and play this music. And then you just remember and you feel very well because you just heard that one song and things like that. So these small steps were very helpful to bringing me back somehow. And I was feeling better and better. This setting yourself first was very hard job to do it. I think females, women, they usually forget about this.
We're the bottom of the list, if there is a list, if we're even on the list.
I think it's genetic in the men's world, but not in females' world. I noticed this when my husband enter with kids, and both are hungry. He will eat, and then he will give kids to eat. And for me, it was impossible how you can do this and things like that. And this is what is somehow hard to put yourself on the first place. This is ongoing process. I need to remember myself from time to time again.
A big post-it note on the fridge. Remember me.
But every time you do this, you have such a positive impact on your body, and it's not good just for you, it's good for your surround as well, because you're in a better mood and you're in better mood with your kids and your family and so on and so on. So it's worth of this time. So I'm trying to present this. I'm doing this me time for you.
Yeah.
For me, actually.
But the thing is, you are, especially when you've got children, especially if you're married or got partners, or even with your work, because you can't give from an empty cup. We know that. We hear that story. We hear that analogy all the time, but it's kind of like, and you just keep giving and doing. And you can't, and that's where the body goes, hello, we're going on strike, or we're going to tickle you with a feather, hit you with a brick, or hit you with a truck. until you pay attention, because it's just, and that's just, you mentioned that earlier, the conditioning for women is from a very young age that we'd watch our mothers do the same thing. They just give to the point they've got nothing left. So, and I think as well, what's happened with a lot of women is they're told that they're selfish or they feel guilty.
Actually, what I want to say, in my culture, it was something like very bad. If you think on yourself, you are very bad person. If you are even think anything about yourself, you are just there to be giving and so on. So
and you get religion as well that comes into that, and you've got education systems and culture and society. So there's all these reinforcements. And of course, and I think, sometimes the type of personalities that we can take these things literally, not recognizing that actually for us to be available, for us to give generously and abundantly, we have to come from being filled up ourselves. I remember being in my bed, totally crippled and disabled for 2.5 years, wanting to save the world. I couldn't even save myself. So that's the irony on the journey, is learning that actually it's not being selfish. It's self-important to build ourselves up physically, mentally, emotionally, and then we can give so much more.
It's just level of energy, like a mobile phone. When it's empty, you cannot use it. You must recharge it, and you need to discover what is charging you.
Yes.
How to recharge yourself, if it's driving the bike, reading the book, sitting just 30 minutes with yourself, going to the movie, whatever is charging yourself, just to notice this and to have this energy again, because you cannot give energy you don't have. So it's just simple.
And that's part of the journey, is learning what is the conditioning, what are the beliefs, what is going on in the narrative with the different parts of us that are the critic, the perfectionist, the pusher, those stronger energy parts that are giving us this dialogue of what we should do and what we should say and what we should feel like, and separating from or being the observer of them. And as you say, allowing other parts to come up, like the teenage part that wants to turn some music on and have a little dance around the kitchen, which is energizing and allows you to be able to sort of deal with the next afternoon or the next day. And that's the thing. I think what we're talking about here is balance. A lot of culture, a lot of life now for people is out of balance. They're women who overgive, overwork, are tired, exhausted, living off sugar, stress, and it's just in imbalance in the body, and that's where the hormones come in and all that kind of stuff. So it is very simple processes. It's challenging because we're fighting the subconscious conditioning, and that's what's wonderful about you doing the journaling and things, because that brings that to the surface and allows us to ask questions of the conditioning. Does that fit me now? Does that work for me now? And most of us, by the time endometriosis has really flared up or even just shown up, it's an indication of dis-ease. There's dis-ease going on, disharmony going on in our life and our thoughts or our emotions somewhere that we maybe are scared to even think about or even look at. And that's where it's just these tools help provide that environment, don't they?
Yes, if you have disbalance in your life, you will probably have disbalance in your hormones, because you are sensitive type of the person. For me, it was very helpful with this emotion part, and these programs had very good impact on me. And I decided to keep them regardless of my cyst size. And in the end, it helped. But on the beginning, I needed to do this decision. I will do this anyhow, because this is good for my life, regardless of endometriosis. And I feel that I feel better and so on. And I continue this way. And second part was this, which I was making mistakes many often, this food. It's the worst way if you are trying to eat healthy and you are doing the wrong things.
Yes.
Then you put the effort on this and you even don't get the where you want to be. Because, for example, if you stop eating the wheat, you think you are stopping eating it, but wheat is everywhere, like sugar is everywhere. And you need to start be aware where is this, because if you are eating ketchup, you don't think that you are eating the sugar and things like that. So it's being aware and start noticing it was very important for me.
Yeah. Well, exactly. You were wonderful in the 21-day challenge, and again, wonderful in the Embracing Emotions program. And that's why I offered you a place in the academy, because you're exactly the type of woman we love working with, because of your commitment, your dedication, and your passion, and your investment in yourself of time and effort and energy, because it's not an easy journey, but it is absolutely worth it to get to the end. So perhaps you could share a little bit of your experience of the academy. And you talked a little bit about foods, because obviously we tend to come almost a little bit out of emotions to come back into the practicalities of the journey, but then obviously we interweave the emotions here. But how did you find the academy? Because obviously that was over 6 months.
Okay, when I finished and completed these first 2 programs, which are much shorter, 3 weeks, and I think 2 or 3 months was the second one, then my expectations were very high, because this was very intensive. First one was every day, and the second one was a couple times per week, and so on. And then I was set for this level, and then you said, okay, we are doing marathon right now. We are not doing this short run, and we will slow down, but it will take longer, and it will be more details. So I needed some time to adapt, because I want it all and I want it now.
Don't we all? It's managing that impatient, frustrated part. It's like, why am I not fixed yet? It's been 3 weeks,
And then it was very great that you didn't put all material there, that you are putting material in some steps, because if everything were there, I think I would read everything within 1 day or something like that, just screening all these.
And then hit overwhelm. That's why I drip feed it throughout the 6 months. Yeah.
And even if you say to people, don't do everything at once, do one by one and see the impact of this, and then put additional step and so on. I don't think that people would listen. They would, this is combination. Okay, I'm using all this combination immediately, and I will go this and for full package. So it was good that it was step-by-step approach, and I getting more and more on awareness. It was maybe this emotional part repeated in more deeper way, but it was quite good on the previous program done. So it was more concentrating on the food right now and what I'm doing wrong, because despite I was doing something for 2-3 years, I was still doing some things wrong. And then you think that it is helping you, and you are doing completely opposite. And it was very beneficial to her. If you are not sure, should you use or consume something, just stop consuming for example, 6 weeks, and then consume it, and your body will give you an answer if you are feeling good taking this or not. So just make some break, and you will see. Right now, on the beginning, I could not do every single day as it should. I had 1 day per week as a let's say release day. Do whatever you want, because you need some motivation or things like that in order to move forward. But as the time comes, you don't need this anymore, because you're doing this proper healthy food. Your organism starts adapting to it, and once you are doing something wrong, you don't feel like doing this anymore. If I eat chocolate right now, I don't like it. I don't feel it good after this. So it's like I eat. It's
so annoying, isn't it? It's so annoying. You're like, I used to love this stuff, and now my body doesn't like it anymore.
Yes, but it's easier to refuse it because you don't struggle for this anymore. You get this like effect. I'm eating this and I feel sick after this, because it's like infusion of 1 kiloton of sugar or something like this. I get it. So it's just I'm not reacting. You see that you are not reacting to this anymore. So it's very easy that you don't do anything if you feel bad every time when you do this. Then you try 1 time, 2nd time, and then you don't try anymore. So right now, I think for the last 6 months, I don't even have any day when I want to break something. This can be just occasion if we are going out in a restaurant or something, and you make a little bit compromise and so on, but you will still eat healthy. So it was very good for me. It was so program, but in some moment of the time of the academy, as you remember, I was very disappointed because I was doing everything right and still everything, and I see huge progress on emotional side, how I feel, this, and cyst was still there. And this was so disappointing for me. And I remember that you told me, why do you go to the doctor? If you feel well, why do you need this check at all? But I needed this check to know the size of the cyst. And once I do this, I was disappointed how this not impact. And you said, okay, but you need to persist because it doesn't happen immediate. You need to continue this way, and that will happen. That was, let's say, a little bit hard.
I remember that call. I remember.
Yeah,
I remember that call because I could feel naturally you're upset and disappointed. And cysts are pesky little things anyway. They take a little bit longer, but perhaps you could share, because that was the last time that we spoke. And I remember you were disappointed and naturally upset.
Yes.
So what happened after that?
Oh, yes, I remember I was answering something like, yes, you are keep talking the same things to me, but that doesn't help me. To me, I'm doing this, but it doesn't help to me. And I was a little bit stressed there. And okay, what to do? As I said, I decided there were no way back for me. Even with or without endometriosis, I decided to do this kind of the living because it was so good for me on so many ways. Yeah. So, okay, it doesn't work for my cyst, but it works for everything else. I feel good. I feel more energized. I'm eating more healthy. I'm aware of certain things.
Yeah.
Overall, I feel much better, and I will keep doing this. And okay, if I need, I will go again for laparoscopy, but I have these additional benefits. And that was the way how I decided to proceed. So I keep everything from the program, even after academy, next 6 months.
Yeah.
So I didn't step back. I did everything as I should do. And I was maybe a little bit more relaxed regarding this because it was some kind of accepting. Okay, it doesn't work for my cyst. I'm doing this just because I feel good about this. And then I didn't have this pressure anymore. It must be fixed. It must be fixed now. I continue living. I went. I took my longest summer vacation ever. It was 4.5 weeks, and I was in the sea, completely out of the job, and I was hanging every day with some old school days friends and so on. So it was all this atmosphere was very nice, and also on the sea, it's very easy to accommodate the food. To eat healthy and fresh and things like that. So everything was perfect. And I came back to my control in order to schedule my operation because I know that when your cyst is 7 centimeters, it's very, very big and you must do something with this. It's no way back. And I was really surprised that it was half of this size. It was 3 centimeters. So finally, program starts to work for me, and I was very, very, very happy about this. And I wrote to you a letter to apologize first for everything I said, that it is not working for me and things like that. And I was really happy about this. And again, it was 10%. I need to control this again, you know me.
Yes.
So I immediately schedule a next appointment for 3 months, and I keep doing everything this because I had certain think maybe it was because I was on this relaxed atmosphere, and maybe I need a doctor prescription to live on the sea without a job, and that will help as well. And so on. And I keep doing everything here in Germany. And after 3 months, results were even better. Right now, it's cyst, which is, let's say, a regular one. I don't need any to pay any attention on this.
So sorry, what size is it now?
It was on the beginning, it was 6.5 centimeters, and right now it's less than 2 centimeters. It's 1.7. So it's
down to 1, and that's just fantastic.
Yes.
That's
so I
so
just
exciting.
keep doing, and I was delighted with this. So it is that you need to combination of this emotional balance, combination of vitamin supplements you take. You need to discover what is working for you. You need to adapt and things like that. So it takes some time.
Absolutely. Well, firstly, I'm so super proud of you because I know it takes so much courage to keep going when you feel like is this going to work for me? Because each woman's different. Each woman has different things. It could be fibroid cysts, it could be adenomyosis, and there's all sorts of things going on in a woman's body at any one time. But I believe at the core of it all is the emotional component, and it could be coming down through the ancestral line. It could have been stored from earlier trauma. There's just, that we don't really tend to have the cultures these days that encourage openness and discussion on these things either, so when we're doing this kind of work, it takes time. As you've even just were saying earlier about asking the questions, that's where the journaling is so key, because it allows you to tap into that kind of subconscious, that alpha state of the brain first thing in the morning, to allow that greater kind of insight to come through. So the fact you persevered, because I remember when you came back from your holiday and you'd had the 4.5 weeks, and I'm like, your body being like, what? Relaxation by the sea, the sun, natural vitamin D. And of course it responded really well to that. And then again, the reduction again by 50% again is just phenomenal. So it is indicative of all your hard work. And how does that feel to see? Because I know we're all the same. We need to see evidence that this is working. How does that feel to see the evidence?
I was very happy that it is working even for this, because I already accepted the program even without this. Yeah. I wanted to sacrifice this, okay? I thought maybe, I was sure that it was working. I was just concerned that my cyst is maybe too big to be treated by this program, and maybe I need to remove it, and then I can continue with this program and it won't reappear. That was some consideration, because I could feel that it works. It's just that I thought maybe it's not on every size or everything. Maybe I was too late when I started the program and things like that. So that was my consideration. So I was very happy that it is working even for this last part and last mile, let's say, because even without that, I was very much already decided that I'm going that way, because there is no way back. You once you become aware, you don't want to go back where you were. No. So that was some thought on me that even regardless of endometriosis, this program can be useful for many other women and any other disease and any other disbalance they are having in their life. So I think that when you are weak on some point, this disease will appear, but it is different disease for different people and things like that. Somebody will have thyroiditis, somebody will have endometriosis and things like that. But having balance and having awareness, what is good for you, what is make you feel good, what is good for your body, this is very important to have.
Absolutely. So what do you think endometriosis so far has taught you?
That I need to stop a while, and that I need to pay attention of my body and especially on my emotions, because I never did this. And this, when you get used first to seeing some role models, then you continue doing like this, and you are just pretending that your emotions doesn't exist because you are not showing them. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It's even bigger when you try to push it down and things like that, but it is just inside. Maybe it's not visible to other people, but you know how you feel inside and things like that. So it's like a pain is growing inside you because you are not letting him out, or things like that. I don't know how else to say. And it's there is certain way for body to give you the signals that you should do something differently. And if you don't recognize that signals, things can be worse on many different levels, not just endometriosis.
Absolutely. And that's beautifully said. And what do you think the cyst represented for you? When there's endometriosis you had, but the cyst was persistent and it slowly shrunk. And what do you think it represented if you had to kind of look at it from an outside looking in your body?
I told you that I'm close sharing emotions so publicly, but if you are forcing and challenging me with this question, for me it will be some inner pain. Something which is inside me, and I didn't want it to let it out somehow, let's say.
And how does that feel, kind of saying that?
Well, it's feeling like a release, and it's feeling like still way to go, because I have awareness, I have notice, it's getting better, but right now I want more, let's say.
Which is good, because I've got another program that's running in a pilot called Emotional Mastery and Spiritual Connection. So that's going to be coming up. So I'll speak to you about that at the end, because I understand, and it kind of gives me goosebumps because I understand the journey. You start to get a sense of there's more going on inside, and then there's the fear of what goes on inside, and then like, how do I deal with what's going on inside? And I want to ignore what's going on inside. This is too much, what's going on inside. But there's, once you get the essence of how good you can feel by connecting to your emotions in a healthy way, in an empowering way, then you want more, because you want to clear whatever blockage is in there. And that cyst has gone down to just, just under, or 1.7, whatever it is. It's tiny now, but again, it's indicative of something. It's staying because it wants to say something to you, and you understand it. And you've said this a couple of times now about the emotion, which is wonderful. And I'm so super proud of you, by the way, because I know that this was a real big challenge. I know it was for me. So I feel you. I understand the challenge.
I know I should say thank you every time.
Exactly. You should say thank you, because it's a thank you to yourself, a recognition and allowing in, because again, this is what we did laugh about, isn't it? Because you were not comfortable with any positive feedback whatsoever. But allowing that in, knowing it's not flattery, knowing it's not for an ulterior motive, knowing that it's a genuine reflection back of your efforts. And that's important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm doing different things right now. I'm like some books I'm reading on these different psychologist topics. I want to investigate more and so on, but I'm glad that what I'm doing and what I learned from academy program is enough to handle my main disease and main problem. And everything what I get right now further is on top of this. It's just because I start doing, I opened this topic, let's say, and then I wanted to.
Absolutely. Well, that's it. Once you start to open that, and you can open it safely, because I think there's always that fear and danger is like, if I open this up, then what? Does it come like flowing out like hot lava over everybody? And then I have to close it back down again, because nobody teaches us this when we're growing up. It's not taught at schools. I think it's taught a bit more at schools, a bit emotions and things, but nobody gives you the tools and how to self-regulate and self-reflect. And once you get those tools and you understand they're so simple and so super safe, then it allows you the opportunity, like a toddler that kind of wants to go and explore and then come back to mom, or a teenager that again that wants to explore and come back. You're able to expand your own kind of landscape of emotions, and understand the language of it as well, which just is so much more empowering and allows you to be freer to live the life. Because I was looking at your opening questionnaire on the academy, and you said a lovely thing. You said, and kind of what is your greater vision? You said it was split between wanting to make a difference in the world and also to go and spend lots of relaxing time. And do you think that still is evident now in you? That still, how does that?
This is that split that you would like to do something big and you would sacrifice yourself if you know that you would do this. But another part of you say, but it is impossible. And you should just relax and spend your life relaxed, because it's very hard to change the world and even if you put your all effort there, you could not do these big things, and then concentrate on little things which are around you. And
but equally that condition, that belief I've heard in you can be questioned, because I used to think it was all or nothing. I either had to put 100% into everything and then burn myself out and be exhausted and drained. Whereas I have had to learn the hard way, it's about balance, like we talked about earlier. Like, I absolutely want to change the world. I absolutely want to leave a legacy. That is my drive and my passion, but not at the expense of myself. So I have to be very disciplined with myself, because I'm a recovering workaholic. I have to be very disciplined and put boundaries in for myself and put things in the calendar so that I can take chunks of time. I can go and lie on a beach in 3 weeks in January, which I want to go and do, that I will do those things so that I can be so charged up and come back and give. So again, I'm hearing you, but it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Because equally, once you start to find your energy and your health, you absolutely never want to give that up. You're ferociously protective of this health and this energy. And the continued challenge is learning to know what the balance is for you. And that balance can fluctuate from day to day, week to week, whilst you're still progressing for your greater purpose. And how you can, I mean, the very fact that you've been courageous enough and done these programs and come to where you're at right now, and I'm giving you another compliment, is testament to who you are. That by itself is changing the world. That is you change. That is your commitment to change.
Yes, I wanted actually to do this testimony because I was the most skeptic one, I guess, in your group. And I wanted to share this experience because I know that some women will think exactly like me, but I already read 1, 2, 3, 5 books. I already tried this. I don't want to try anything new. All this doesn't work. I will just lose my time and energy and things on. And this time it was really life-changing for me because I was between hysterectomy and very big operation. And right now I'm fully health person. And I also live much healthier as I lived before. So it's let's say double win. Even you cure your disease, but for your future, it's much better that you are become aware doing these things on the time, not when you are too late to change something because you run into some bigger disease and things like that. So this program was really different than anything I found so far. And I was really lucky to find this in the right moment of the time, because if I were late a couple of months, I would probably go to this operation running all other options, because that's why I'm very thankful.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Program. And as you stated in Academy, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. If you already have some program which is working for all these humans, because it's not random that all of them were cured from the different stages of its disease or different needs and different ages and so on. If it works, you don't need to reinvent wheel to do your own investigation and lose time and suffer in the meantime, because you already have this way to go, which other people already try and it works. So
exactly. And I think exactly. And they can waste so much time trying to reinvent the wheel. This program works and works and works and works and works. And it's just phenomenal to see more and more women coming through. And in time, I really want to build the community so that it's expansively more supportive, so that there is like a hub, that there is, more women can come together, because a lot of women are quite shy in doing that and don't like Facebook. So I'm looking at other ways to bring communities together in a way that's more interactive. But yes, it's wonderful that you're here sharing your story, because I know how skeptical that you were, and I was the biggest cynic as well about this whole thing on my journey. But I loved how open you were and still are to the emotional component, because that's intangible to some degree. And of course, being from the work field that you're in as an engineer, you're very sort of practical with all your stuff. So I understood, the challenge in that, but I think there's some part of you really opened up to that has allowed the other learning about the produce and the products and everything to really, integrate in a way that is going to be with you, not just for the next 6 months or 6 years, I think for the rest of your life.
Yes, finding balances in the life is very important, and balance can be from the different areas coming. It's not just work-life balance, which they are referring all the time, which means I'm working on the work and I'm working at the house and things like that. No, it's finding some me time and finding time for others and finding times for activities, which results I feel very satisfied with, in different things. So it's just to feel it and to get into things, because if you are in the balance and you feel satisfied, I'm sure that it will reflect to your health very well, and that you have hormone balance as well.
Absolutely. So what would you say to anyone considering applying to the EndoBoss Academy, or even just starting on the EndoBoss Pathway? What would you say to anyone who's listening to this and going, oh, but I've tried this and I've tried this, what would you be saying to them right now?
First, that I would say it works, full stop. This is most important. They must believe in this. As I said, I finished all these programs and I still had concerns. Is this really work for me? But I saw that it is working for all different areas of life, and I decided to keep this regardless of this. So for sure this works and this will cure you from endometriosis. And this is the only real path to follow, because I was suffering more than 15 years. Probably it's more than 20. I just discovered too late. You need 3, 4, 5 years to discover that you are even having endometriosis and things like that. So it's when I say that I was suffering for 20 years and that medical circles is getting you just in the loop from operation to operation without curing any cause for this disease, just curing the symptoms. So they will remove the cyst and cyst will come back. They will remove the cyst and cyst will come back. And you are not, for sure not ready to having operation every 3 months. So to be short, medical path is not offering you any solution.
Yeah.
You can try on your own, but you have a program which is already done with many women and proved to work. So it's much easier for you to save the time and to save the energy and to just focus. Also, you will get the support from other people, because it's not very easy to change. Right now, it's easy for me to live like this.
Yeah.
But it was not easy on the beginning, because you need to change your life and you need some support on this, because on the beginning, it's a little bit harder. And I really understand that there are some women which will say, oh, if I need to do all of this, I'm quitting, or things like that. But it's not like this. You cannot quit from yourself. You cannot quit from your life.
You're
and
stuck with yourself for life, whether you like it or not.
So you must do this, and yes, you will be disappointed from time to time. And that's why this path was very good for me, not entering the academy directly, entering step by step, because first you get this trial for 21 days, and if you succeed these 21 days, then you qualify that you will go further. And everyone will say, okay, I can give a chance for 21 days to see if it's going good or bad for me and how I feel after this. So 21 days, everyone can give the chance. And later on with Academy, you can go into deeper details and you can cure yourself completely. And later on, you can work on you are somehow capable to continue life on your own, let's say, after this. So it's not end of journey, it's just beginning of journey, and you need to continue doing you being aware in every single circumstance.
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that, because I think that's it. I think I view it as, when you start the journey, it's a journey. You don't come off the pathway. It's you coming onto a new pathway, a new way of thinking and feeling and being aware, so you can get that balance, so you can understand what's going on internally and externally. But it's a pathway for life. You come on this, and once you start to get that interest and curiosity as to your thoughts and your feelings, like you were saying, like, so why do I push people away? Why do I keep them at arm's distance? It takes time for these things to be integrated. But with the tools of the journaling and meditation, there are countless studies of their effectiveness and why they're so good at helping the self, the authentic self, the true you, come to the surface, because it's there, it's just hidden under layers. And that's where the physical manifestation, the disease, tends to show up. So I think this is great to hear you say, exactly, once you're doing this, you're doing this, but you're doing it not out of stress or pressure. You're doing it because suddenly curiosity and excitement of where the future is going to lead.
Yes, it's strange. You start the program to heal your endometriosis, and once you finish with that part, you are healed, you are done. You don't want to stop, because you discover this new dimension that can be so beneficial for you. It can be beneficial in so many ways, because you will maintain a much healthier life. You will have much more energy. You will be aware of your emotions. You will do what is auf Deutsch, was gefällt dir? What is, I'm trying to all the time to translate it on English, but I'm not finding the right words. But it's not what you are making good for you, what make you feel good. That it is, you will do all the time, and you don't want to go back anymore. So you will continue life as a much healthier and much happier person after this, and you will be aware, and you won't spend your energy on the people who doesn't deserve this energy, and you will spend to right people, and everyone around you, including you, will be much happier with this. So I believe that anyone who finish and complete this academy never come back and say, okay, I healed my endometriosis and now I'm having my previous life back. I don't expect that this is coming any for anybody.
Absolutely. So what does the future hold for you? What does the future hold for Nadja? Because I'm hearing it's awesome that you're like really starting to kind of really connect with yourself now. You're on this pathway. You know that endometriosis came up in your body because it was trying to get your attention. You know that the cyst is there because it's still trying to there's still some work needing done, and you understand the emotional component, but it's just woken you up and made you aware of so much of you now. So what does the future hold for you, do you think?
Oh, we need to discover. But what are my plans right now is that I want to have some me time as a permanent one, and I really enjoy this, and I notice that this is filling me with energy. I'm also want to hang out with the people just which I feel good with, and I don't want to spend the energy on others. And I want to investigate a little bit more and deeper inside myself, because I know right now these basic feelings, but I still didn't answer all questions which I find inside myself, and I want to deal with this. It's nothing urgent. It's just curiosity, and I want to know, because this will help me to be. I think every one of us should be the best possible person for itself. It's not competition that I should be better or worse compared to anyone else. I should be best version of myself, and this is what I want to achieve.
Awesome. But even as you were talking there, I feel like it's like a freer version of yourself. It's not even like better than anyone else. It's like coming home to yourself. It's that freer, so you can fly.
Yes, but I think that you are best on yourself when you are really an authentic you, when you discover what you are really, and you are not ashamed or stopped by anything to show this to other people, because nobody can hurt you anymore, because you are accepted yourself somehow.
Well, look, thank you so much indeed for coming on. I want to say it again, but I'm so super proud of you, because I know it's been a tough journey. And as you say, I say this to every woman, I never say it's easy, but I do say it's worth it, because look at the treasures that you found over. And it's not just about endometriosis. And you can see, and I can't tell women that at the beginning of the journey, because they wouldn't believe it. But can you, if you were to think of yourself, at the very beginning of this journey, what would you say to yourself now if you could go back and speak to Nadja at the beginning of the journey?
It is really worth of time and effort, and it is not even effort. It is not even time, because this is time you will spend on yourself, and you should not count this. And this effort is something you should naturally have it. You just forgot this in some moment of the time, and this is good that you were reminded to come back to your roots. Nothing more than this.
Well, look, thank you. I hope you had fun telling the doctor. Like, I hope you enjoyed saying, "Isn't this amazing?" without any medical stuff. Look, this
is partially because I changed the city, and I don't have this same doctor anymore to say, "Oh, see,
you don't want to write
see that it is possible to write without even." That there are optional parts to do, and doctor I'm having right now is really good and really open and understandable. So
well,
he's accepting all this.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. But look, I am so super happy for you, and I'm so proud of you for the journey, because it shows your strength of character, and I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing what's going to happen in the next chapter of your life as you continue to. You're going to be going away soon and lying in the sun and sopping it up on the beach. So thank you so much indeed. I so appreciate it.
Thank you. As I stated, I was very happy to meet. It's always some reason in the cosmos, but I was really happy to meet you in the right time. And this was solution of my problem, which were there for 20 years. And I cannot believe that this time is just time coincidence that you find someone just when you need it. It's really my pleasure, and thank you in the name of all women you help.
Oh, well, thank you so much. That means so much to me. But thank you so much, Nadja. Take care.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I really hope that you felt inspired and enjoyed listening to Nadja's story. Isn't it wonderful just to hear what the body can do when it's given the right environment, the right ingredients, and of course the right expert guidance as well. So, for over 15 years she suffered, and she was, really sad and down and anxious about all that was going on in her body, as we have all been ourselves in the past. As you know, I think it's almost 7 years now I've had my conditions in remission. So I really hope the reason I share these podcasts, the reason I ask these women to step out of their comfort zones and share this with you is to inspire you to take action. So make sure to, if you're now ready at this time of year, because January is always a great time to make these resolutions, you're going to do something different, then do go on to healendometriosisnaturally.com/programs. Get started on the 21-day challenge. It's a wonderful program. Just you get the support of my team via email. You'll get all this information, all this education, and really start to connect with yourself in a way that you have never done before, and really start to learn what is possible, because as a result of connecting to yourself emotionally and starting to learn what healthy self-care is without guilt and shame, etc., you'll start to notice how your body very slowly, very gently starts to respond. But most importantly, you'll start to become part of our amazing EndoBoss family, a family of women who are wanting to do something different. And this is a healthy, empowering way of difference. So hope you enjoy this. If you have enjoyed this, and please do email us, let us know what you enjoyed about the podcast so we can pass this on to our EndoBoss alumni, because it means a lot to them to hear how this podcast has impacted you. But until we meet on this journey, EndoBoss journey, keep taking care of yourself, keep you number one, and to your health.
Thanks for listening to Heal Endometriosis Naturally with WendyKLaidlaw. And I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and rate us. If you're interested in learning more, you can download your top 5 jumpstart tips at healendometriosisnaturally.com and jump on the VIP email list. Remember to keep you number one. The world needs a healthy you.